I'm Benita Rowe from Ustad Mobile. We make an open source mobile learning app that enables learners to access and share education content offline on the devices that they own. Though the Ustad Mobile app itself is content agnostic, today I'm going to talk about a customized version of the app that we built with specific content for a specific audience. It's currently being piloted across public universities in Afghanistan. We're going to have a look at the challenges inherent in designing and rolling out an application of this nature, including gender differences in mobile device usage and access, the results of the preliminary pilot, and how we have designed for both sustainability and scalability. I'm recovering from a sore throat at the moment, so please do bear with my voice today. The app was created under the University Support and Workforce Development Program, which some of you may be familiar with. USWDP is a $90 million 5-year program which supports public universities across Afghanistan. It's implemented by FHI 360 and financed by USAID. Because the goal of USWDP is not just to improve academic quality, but also to bridge the gap between universities and the needs of the labor market, one of its activity areas aims to build soft skills among university students. To this end, USWDP engaged Afghan education specialists to design soft skills training courses. These were offered as optional university courses, with the incentive that passing the final exam made the course taker eligible for industry internships. The courses were well received by the students. However, FHI 360 discovered 2 barriers to enrollment and completion for some students. Number 1, female students generally have less flexibility in their schedules to stay longer for optional courses. Number 2, the courses were quickly oversubscribed and the project had to turn students away. They just did not have the staff capacity to cater for the number of students that wanted to enroll. So to make the courses more accessible for female students and to meet overall student demand, FHI 360 decided to also offer the courses as a blended model. The availability of mobile devices, text and video integration now allows for the creation of deeper learning opportunities through mobile mediums. The idea is that students complete interactive, video-based course modules on their phones in their own time prior to attending a condensed face-to-face course. I'm going to outline the 3 main challenges involved in creating the app for USWDP and how we approach these. The first challenge was scripting and filming relevant and engaging video content. 9 video-based course modules needed to be written to reflect the existing curriculum, filmed and made available in Dari, Pashto, and English. Afghanistan is an ethnically and linguistically diverse country, so having both a variety of ethnicities represented and strong female leads were priorities, but finding native-speaking female actors to play these roles was quite difficult from a cultural perspective. The second challenge was the limited monetary resources and the smartphone penetration. In order for the program to be sustainable, the marginal cost per student needed to be reasonable compared to the existing governmental resources allocated to higher education. There could be no additional capital or recurring costs for meeting excess demand for soft skills training through a mobile solution beyond the initial investment. This meant making use of the devices that the students already owned. While all students owned or had access to a mobile phone, between 30 and 50% of those mobile phones were not smartphones. A higher percentage of female students own lower-end smartphones and feature phones. The third challenge was related to limited connectivity and infrastructure constraints. Less than 20% of the students had their own mobile data packs. Female students are disproportionately represented in this category. In other words, a higher percentage of female students have no access to mobile internet. In addition, internet speeds in Afghanistan are often limited and downloading videos can take hours. Distributing and maintaining any physical hardware for offline access, so additional Wi-Fi access points or Raspberry Pis, etc., is complex and difficult to maintain in the long run. So we needed to find a way to avoid that. We approached the 3 aforementioned challenges as follows. Number 1, to ensure that the content is relevant and engaging, 9 scripts were produced in Dari, Pashto, and English from the original in-person soft skills modules in collaboration with local staff in Afghanistan. Each module contains a short introductory video which explains the learning objectives and relevance of the module to the students. The learners progress through the modules, choosing how to respond to simulated situations, such as attending a job interview or drafting a CV with a friend. Fully trilingual men and women of different ethnicities were cast to provide positive role models for all Afghan students. While we did want to film in Afghanistan, we had difficulties finding fully trilingual cast members, and female leads in particular, so we filmed in Canada with a cast of Afghan expats. Number 2. To keep the marginal cost per student to a minimum and to avoid disadvantaging students who do not own smartphones, we took the following 3 steps. A. We support older and newer smartphones and feature phones. This enables students to use their own devices and avoids disadvantaging students who have lower-end smartphones and feature phones, of which a disproportionate percentage are female. This reduced the total cost of ownership, maximizing access whilst minimizing cost. B. We built on existing systems. This kept the initial cost reasonable. The Ustad Mobile app already provided support for distributing content offline to smartphones and feature phones. It was thus far quicker and more cost-effective to customize the existing app for FHI 360 for this use case, rather than for FHI 360 to build an app from scratch. And C. I'll discuss this more under scalability in a moment, but as a policy, at Ustad Mobile we use open source and open standards. In a nutshell, this means there is no vendor lock-in. Both the app and the app content can be customized and integrated with other systems as needed in the future, in this particular case at the discretion of the Afghan Ministry of Education. Number 3, to mitigate the effects of limited connectivity and infrastructure, we provide an in-app peer-to-peer content sharing feature that enables users to send modules from one phone, for example a career center staff phone, to any other nearby, for example a student phone, at high speed using Wi-Fi Direct. There is no need for any additional connectivity at the career centers or any extra hardware. Staff download the app and modules and share them offline at high speed with students. The students can also share the modules offline with their peers. The results of the pilot evaluation conducted by FHI 360 with a convenient sample of 92 students across 4 universities are promising. 69 students out of 92 completed the modules. Their scores increased from an average of 32 out of 100 before using the app to an average of 71 out of 100 after using the app. FHI 360 also found that career center staff are comfortable downloading the app and sharing it offline with students using their own phones. They also noted that female students are especially enthusiastic about the app as they can complete the modules flexibly, even though their mobility, schedules, and access to the internet are generally more restricted than that of their male counterparts. USWDP aims for 4,000 university students to complete the course via the app over the next year. Sustainability is a bit of a buzzword. It finds its way into almost everything. But a key hard component of that is the marginal cost per additional student. For us, it's essential to ensure that the dollar cost per student is affordable, which generally rules out handing out devices and providing additional connectivity services. That means making use of the devices that students already own and making content and apps both consumable and shareable offline. From one buzzword to the next, scalability. To facilitate scalability, we use open source and open standards so the same platform can work for various different types of content and integrate with other systems. This helps avoid the scenario depicted here, which I'm sure many of you are familiar with. We support various open standards, including EPUB, which is used by thousands of publishers, including Pratham and African Storybook, the Experience API package, which is used by dozens of e-learning systems, and soon SCORM, which is the most common legacy format for e-learning content. We use the Experience API for reporting user progress, which enables integration with other learning management systems, such as Moodle and Blackboard. This also helps students take their records from one system to another. The soft skills content is available and has been placed in the public domain. So there's no licensing costs and all are welcome to make derivative works. Beyond soft skills, we are in the process of creating a new digital library of open educational resources for offline usage. Scalability for us is about how we can reach more learners. There are no excess equipment costs as the students complete the modules on the devices that they already own. There are no further capital costs for meeting excess demand for soft skills training through a mobile solution, and scaling our peer-to-peer sharing solution results in no additional recurrent costs and mitigates user data costs. Therefore, this solution, if able to validate the initial findings, promises cost effectiveness at scale. While the mobile modules serve as a passport to attending USWDP classes for eligible university students and recent graduates, mobile soft skills training is freely available to download via the Google Play Store and the Ustad Mobile website. An iOS version will be coming out in the next weeks. As I mentioned, the soft skills content has been placed in the public domain, so there's no licensing costs and all are welcome to make derivative works. If you have any questions, comments, or would like to talk a little bit more about how you could use this app or a similar approach in your context, please feel free to reach out to me directly. Thank you very much for your time, and thank you to Maria and Omar for organizing this event today.